Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know me, my name is Jesse. So today, I'm really gonna work very hard to try to get this Gallardo put back together. Houston's out of town, and he decided to work on his own car without me there on my day off. And I guess a lot of things went down, and I wasn't aware about it. So when I first came to the office today, I was supposed to make some type of bracket because apparently when he tried to turn the car on and give power and see what we got going on, injectors, this injector and this injector was leaking from the O-rings. And he said when he took everything apart, he realized that either the bolts were stripped here, that the tabs that were made by Underground Racing to hold the fuel rails together, and the fuel rail was backing out every time he tried to tighten it. So I was racking my brain this morning on what is the fastest, easiest solution just to get the car put back together today so I can get it all together and we can at least start it. This is what I came up with. These are just, I believe it's like plumber's tape. Don't quote me on it. I'm not sure what it's called. I know it's not plumber tape, but it's some construction hardware thing that they use. But I just made it very simple. I cut it and I sized it and I wrapped it around the fuel rail. So when I tighten it, the fuel, this bracket here that I made here is not going to go anywhere. So if for some reason it wants to back out, it can't because it's looped around the fuel rail. So fuel rail is going to stay in place. Later down the line, I'll eventually take it off, make something super sick and make it look nice and clean. But I really want to get this back together today so we can get the car at least ready to start when Houston gets back. We got a lot of things to do. I figured out all the vacuums. Apparently I had 98% of the vacuum lines in the right spot. Just there's one or two that I missed and I didn't have them hooked up because I was just kind of waiting for a couple of my friends to help me out. But everything was good. So today we're gonna mount the exhaust, we're gonna mount the turbo, we got the downpipes in. And if you look here, this is the OEM mount for the exhaust here, and it kind of fits and it kind of doesn't. And this side of the turbo sits higher than this side. So I'm not sure if the turbos are supposed to sit like that, but I'm gonna put everything together, mock things up. I know I'm gonna have to modify some brackets to make everything work, but the goal today is get all that modification done, mount everything, get it ready to start, and we'll start this by tomorrow, because Houston will probably be back tonight. So you guys notice that the oil filter for this Gallardo is right here. So everybody knows Underground Racing build, they relocate the oil filter because when they run the secondary fuel rails, you can't get to the oil filters anymore, which normally the oil filter sits right there. And when the intake manifold on, you got both fuel rails, one here, one here. It's nearly impossible. It is impossible for you to ever get the oil filter out. So they relocated. But I looked at a bunch of pictures from Underground Racing, and the oil filter, when they get finished relocating it, sits right here. Okay. If you look at the lines here, there's no way this filter is going to reach here. So I don't know what happened and why it's short. And when I got all this together, it was already pre-hooked up. So I just hooked them up, and I didn't move it, extend it, or change the lines. So I'm gonna make new steel braided lines, and we're gonna replace it with some nice black ones, and I'll make it long enough so we could mount it over here. So that's gonna be, AN fittings are kind of hard to do, so you gotta be perfect with it. You gotta take your time, but we'll get it done today. Alright guys, the new lines are made. Nice beautiful black ones over here. Got this all cleaned up. So we had to get these lines made first before the intake manifold can go back on, because we have to take the lines off, take them to the table, put them on the vise to make the lines. So you got over here, follow over here. Check this out. I mocked the turbo up a little bit. It's not how it's gonna be, it's not the final product, but I needed the turbo to be there so I can run the line to see where they can go without getting away from the turbo kit. I ended up putting the oil filter over here, as you can see. Got the new AN fittings right there. Everything's looking good. This is gonna go on right now, and about 30 minutes later, this will be done. So I laid the intake manifold on. I didn't bolt it up all the way yet because I still had to attach these fuel lines right here. So I was able to kind of lift. Well, I put two bolts in. Sorry. So I put two bolts in already, but I had to lift it up, put these two fuel lines right here. It's kind of hard to do when it's down there because you don't got much space. So if I was able to do it from the under, it was a lot easier. One good thing about taking the intake manifold off, I was able to do this, and the fuel rolls are already undone, so with the fuel roll out of the way, it's easier to get the bolts on the side. There's 6 bolts on each side, and it's a little time consuming because you can only go so fast, and you get a little ratchet and you're going back and forth. But once that goes on, I can start putting all the vacuum and butterfly valves and all the air injection system back on. We'll clean up all this, plug everything in, then we'll move back here, and I'm gonna tidy up on the turbo kit. I still gotta run the lines for the feed and return on the turbo, so I still gotta do that left. Haven't done that yet, but that'll be last because I gotta see where else I can route things and make sure they don't get in the way of other things. But it's coming along. I'm working really hard. It's just, you know, when we do projects like these and it wasn't put together, I'm kind of like piecing everything together. I hit a lot of walls, so I just gotta take my time, make sure I do things right, so when we start it, we can drive it. All right, this isn't the Gallardo, okay? We had some walls that we walked into with the Gallardo. The Gallardo had to be sent to the dealer, like I said, because the immobilizer is not reading the key. And there's a couple other little issues that we may have a problem with or we don't. We don't know yet because we had them. I was there for like 2, 3, 4 hours.
It's all electrical. It's all electrical issues, all right?
Say that.
I'm just saying, just tell them. It's all electrical.
Yeah, it's all electrical.
It's
nothing to do with the
mechanical.
engine.
We
Nothing
did a really
mechanically
good job
wrong with
putting
that.
it
No,
together.
there's modules in there that we might have overlooked that might have been sold or was taken out when we bought the car. So there's that. And then just programming things because we have manual stuff with automatic stuff, the eager thing. So we're just trying to marry everything together and make it read. But today we had another emergency. The slingshot was at the Planet Hollywood Valet in the middle of the road. It just died. We don't know how. The guy was calling saying, hey, something's going on. The car's not starting and there's cars going everywhere. And I'm like, dude, I'll be there right now. So I immediately grabbed one of our automatic slingshots, took it to him and gave it to him and said, hey, take this for the rest of the day. I'll get this fixed. We'll find out what's going on. Got there, tried to work on it, and it was kind of hard to work on because we were in the tunnel. There's cars everywhere, and it was a big deal. So I did the little things that I always check when the cars get there, and to try to fix it, I had no luck. So I eventually towed the unit back. So we got the unit back, and I started looking where's the rest of the power, and I found out that the main relays back here, we got 50, 40, and another 50 amp fuse. Those are big fuse. For that to burn, you must have had a big issue. So something happened in the lines where it burnt the fuse. And this fuse here, I was trying to pull it, I couldn't pull it, literally melted to the backside. So we're getting a short here. So I got one from another unit that I have and put it back together, and immediately we get power. So now we're good to go. This unit will be back on the road for our 3 o'clock rental, and we're gonna make money again today. So I'll let you guys know what goes down with the Gallardo. The Gallardo, we're waiting for updates from Lamborghini. They should be calling me today, so I'm not sure. But hopefully everything goes good and we get that car back here and it'll be started and ready to go.